Special 2. How did you look at the case? The lab order was incomplete. Patients got hurt for nothing. You go apologize to the patient and ask for a new blood draw. Pising gave back the patient's chart to my hand and walked away to Nong Extern, who was waiting for a consulting case. I made a grimace and went back to order the patient's blood drawn as ordered by the chief resident. Never said to me nicely. I groaned as I wrote the instructions on the paper in an annoying mood. The aim turned to look at me and walked to stand beside me. More blood draws? Asked PM. Yes, I replied annoyingly. What else do you want? The patient will be admitted here anyway. PM turned to look at Singh and moved to whisper next to me. Did you get scolded by Singh again? I sighed. Yes, all the time. PM's expression was displeased. What's wrong with Dr. Singh? Always talks badly to his boyfriend. Nong Gap always agrees with him. Oh, Singh, early morning, huh? Pitin's voice rang out from the front door. Pitin walked into the emergency room. He was wearing his casual outfit and carrying a bag full of documents. Pising turned to say hi to Pitin. Yeah, I've been busy since late at night. What are you doing here? Submit the complete version of the research. The karma is finally over. Pitin smiled widely. I'll go first. I'm in a hurry. Nongtal is waiting for me. Yeah, go wherever you want. It's really annoying. Pacing waved his hand to Pitin and turned back to continue writing the charts. Actually, he talks badly to everyone. I turned my attention back to my work. But PM, look when he talks with Pitin. The atmosphere differed from talking to me. Seriously, did Pising have anything to do with me? Until now, I still hadn't figured out whether Pising really hates me or loves me. Since I agreed to be his boyfriend, he acted like he would be nice to me sometimes. When he acted nice, it was so pleasant that I felt nervous. But most of the time, we're like this force, scold. It was hurt too. But I also felt that since Nonggap was Dr. Singh's boyfriend, the old you had disappeared. You don't look as cheerful as before. You act like you're afraid of something all the time. I don't think this is okay. Beam stared at Pising. I'll do it for you. Beam. I immediately turned to the young nurse, who was reputed to be the fiercest in the ER, but it was too late. Beam walked straight to Pising and put her hand on her wrist. Dr. Singh, who do you want me to draw blood? Beam had already yelled at Singh, causing Pising, who was teaching the medical students, to turn to look. Grandma's veins are very hard to find. Last time, we had to find them until Grandma's arm was completely porous. Don't you know that Grandma had a blood infection? She still has to be admitted. Then let the ward be the one to draw blood with the lab tomorrow. I feel sorry for her. I twisted my mouth. Everyone knew Pising was good at academics but sucked at humanity. Pising looked at PA with a scary look and then turned to a softer look. Maybe it was because he just figured out that the ward could be the one to do it. Then, no need to. Okay, and one more thing. Please talk to Gap nicely. I know that you're going to become a professor, but if you can't talk well with your boyfriend, it often makes him feel sad. Then don't expect to be a good professor to the juniors. After talking as if dragging Singh and slapping him on the face in the middle of an intersection, PM walked back to me with a victorious smile. The ER's undefeated warrior was so terrifying. Singh blinked at PA before shifting his gaze towards me. I didn't know if he would get angry that I told PM that he was scolded. I guessed I would have to hide from Singh before he took action against me. As soon as the evening shift was finished, Singh went back to the dressing room. I hurriedly walked out of the emergency room without changing. Where should I run away to? I needed someone to protect me. If I called Pitin, would it be too disturbing? Pitin should be with Nongtol, but sorry, there must only be Pitin who was able to fight with Pising. What's up, Gap? Pitin answered my call with a cheerful tone as usual. Yeah, can you do me a favor? I walked straight to my dorm. Can I stay with you for a while? What happened? Asked Pitin. Is there a problem with Sing? Let me hide from Hia Sing for a while. I'm scared, I said in a pleading tone. Pretty please. Gap is coming here. Pitin probably turned to talk to Nong Tol. Okay, come to my condo. Call me when you're here. I'll come and pick you up. Okay, thank you, Hia. I hung up the phone and dashed to my car. Pitin was like a brother who I depend on every time. Why was a person who approached me not a warm and kind person like Pitin? Why did it have to be the goofy glasses? I was so jealous of Nong Tol to be with someone who was kind like Pitin. All the time, Hia. What I did was all wrong and I always get scolded. But when he talked to others, he was nice. I vented my frustration to Pitin and Dongtol with uncontrollable tears flying from my eyes. I can't stand it anymore, Hia. I don't know why I have to be with this kind of person any longer. Hia Singh never loved me. Lovers don't do this to each other. The way to show their love may not be the same, Gap. Pitin raised his hand and placed it on my shoulder, while Nongtol sat quietly, listening, but he showed an empathetic expression. Normally, Singh always talks badly. When you live with him, you probably won't get used to it. It's not that I don't know what kind of person he has Singh is, but with me, he should be nice and not misbehave. It's worse than doing it with others. He Singh didn't love me. I know that. He just wants to tease me, as always. He asked me to be his boyfriend just to tease me. Tears flew down my face as I spoke the sentence a moment later. Nong Tol turned to pick up a tissue and handed it to me. I took it and put it on both eyes. When I see Hiatin and Nong Tol, I'm terribly jealous. This is what they call lovers, looking after, taking care of each other like this. Hiatin sighed. I'm sorry for you, but you also have to ask yourself if saying you can't stand it anymore means that you want to break up or you want him to improve. Hyoscine can't improve himself. It's his nature. I looked out of the window. But if you ask me if I want to break up or not, I still want to live with him. When he was nice to me, though it was once in a while, it was very good. Pitin turned to look at Nongtol's face. Then there's only one way left. This is to fix his nature. What do you say, Tol? You allow me to follow the plan we've talked about? I blinked confusedly at these two brothers. Did Pitin and Tol ever talk about anything? Sure. Tol looked at me as if he wanted to help. Okay, so it's like this, Gap. I will turn to Sing's competitor, said Pitin with a serious expression. I'll take care of your broken heart in front of Sing. Teach him how the lovers treat each other. I'll act as if I like you too. And I'm sorry that you have been treated like this, and I'll take you from Sing. I widened my eyes. Are you serious, Hia? Hell yes. Nong Tol gave me permission. I'll make his head spin that he has to rethink about what he did to you was appropriate or not, okay? When he starts to get confused, say that you want him to change. Pitin reached out his hand to me. It's time to take revenge for everything that Sing has ever teased you. You also have to play along with me when I flirt with you. Aren't you scared of being killed by Hia Sing? I looked at Hia Tin's hand hesitantly. No, I think I'm strong enough. I won't make a mistake again, said Pitin. Mistake? I think Pitin meant that Pising used to flirt with Pitin's woman. I reached out to hold Pitin's hand tightly and shook up and down. Okay, Hia, I'm on it. Please fix his behavior for me. The plans started at the shift the next morning. I was on duty with Pising again. As soon as I walked into the resident room, Pising walked toward me like a lion staring at its prey. I walked in the other direction, but Pising grabbed my arm and squeezed it tightly. Where were you yesterday? Pising asked me in a hoarse voice. Why didn't you answer your call? I rang 10 times. Are you deliberately underestimating me? I turned my face the other way. I don't want to talk. What's wrong with you? Pacing squeezed my arm tighter that it hurt. If something happened to you, will I know it? Do you even care if something happened to me or not? I said coldly to Sing's face. I prepared myself for being pushed by him or doing something to hurt me, but the sound of the door opening interrupted us. It was Pitin. He opened the door of the room and gave me a big smile. Hey, Gap, I bought you an iced coffee. Don't forget to drink it. I saw you looking so tired that I felt pity. Pitin turned to look at Sing. The coffee that Gap likes must be less sweet. Remember it, Sing. Then Pitin closed the door, leaving me standing in the room with Sing quietly. It's not that I don't know. Sing clenched his fists and turned to look at me. So, where did you go last night? I decided to speak in a way that knocked Sing. Went to see Pitin, and I hurriedly walked out of the room before I got caught. I ran towards Pitin, who was about to walk out of the emergency room. Yeah, thank you for the coffee. Pitin turned around and smiled back. That's fine, it's nothing. If you feel uncomfortable, you can always come and see me. Though it was pure acting, Pitin was able to play the role of a warm-hearted man. It made me feel warm in my heart. I didn't want Pitin to be my boyfriend, but just imagine that if Pising could be at least a little bit nice as Pitin, it would be great. I turned back to meet my boyfriend's fierce eyes. Pising looked at Pitin as if wanting to tear him into pieces. Seeing this made me satisfied. People like Hia deserves this. I barely talked to Pising most of the time during the duty. For a case that I wasn't sure about, I'll go ask the professor directly. Until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Pitin came to continue the shift from Pising with a cake in his hand. I could feel the black aura coming from Pising's body when Pitin walked in. Hey, was it a busy morning? Pitin turned to meet my eyes and beckoned. Oh, Gap, here's the cake that you said you wanted to eat. I went to the shop and saw the last piece. I was fighting with other people so that you could have it. The cake I wanted to eat? It was overacting that I wanted to give him an Oscar. I walked toward him and took the cake. They sell it here? Yes, millions of people were queuing. Enjoy! Peyton turned to look at Pising. Send me the duty. What do I have left? Pising held his fist so tight that the blood vessels rose. I think the danger signal was coming. Should I warn Peyton to run away? There are 4 cases left. Let Gap be the one to tell you. Pising walked past Peyton. Peyton turned to look at him and pursed his lips. Here we go. Peyton raised his hand and placed it on his chest. I'm definitely going to die. Should I talk to him? I think he's angry now. I think so, and didn't think it would happen easily. Peyton raised his hand to squeeze my shoulder. Tell him, Peyton takes care of me better than you. You don't know about anything, and you have never done anything like this. Why should I be patient and stay with you? I cried out. I'm afraid it will not end well, Hia. What if Hia Singh wants to break up? Then he will do it. Peyton laughed. No way. Singh loves you so much. He just showed it in a weird style, that's all. Okay, now let's get back to work. Tell me the cases. After handing over the duty to Peyton, I hurriedly walked into the dressing room. I guessed Pising was so mad that he returned home. But when I opened the door, Pising, who was sitting still with his head down, the clothes haven't been changed yet, as if he had been sitting here since he left. I pretended to walk past, not paying attention. Gap! Singh's voice called out while his big hand reached out and grabbed my wrist. Are you mad at me? Why are you mad? And why do you have to go to Tin? You like him? It was a set of questions. I turned to look at Dr. Singharat, who had transformed into a tamed cat instead of the usual predatory lion. His hardened eyes looked sad and confused and didn't understand something. Yes, I like Pitin. I hit Bissing again. I like Pitin because he cares. speaks to me nicely, and listens to my problem, not scolding or teasing me. I pulled my hand away from his hand. Whatever you say, I'd rather be with someone I feel more comfortable with. Ethan shook his head and stood up. I looked up at someone 10 centimeters taller than me. But I don't want to break up with you. My heart almost stopped when I heard the sentence a moment ago. Pacing in a rare mode that is nice and speaks nicely is back. You don't love me, do you? I like you. How many times have I told you? Pacing raised both hands against the wall and locked me in his arms. If you don't want me to yell at you, then I won't. If you want me to buy you snacks or coffee, just say so. Sometimes I can't tell what you're thinking, okay? You keep running away to find this and that person. If you tell the other people what you dissatisfied with me, then why don't you tell me yourself? I blinked and looked at Piecing in shock. Well, what Piecing said is true. I tended to run away from Piecing when I was in trouble and liked to talk to other people more. I know that I'm an asshole, Piecing continued. I know many people hate me, but some things I really don't know what I did. If I scolded you, you can scold me back. I might be angry then, but I might be able to figure it out. I'm going to be a professor in the next 2 months. I know that if I continue like this, the kids will hate me for sure. I need someone to help. I need you. I still can't say anything, especially when I see his eyes wandering through the lenses of glasses. It made my heart beat so fast that it almost jumped out of my chest. He's saying, so, or do you want me to change? Tell me directly. I want. I glanced up at Pacing. His sharp eyes that stared at me without looking away made me feel crazy in my chest. I want you to be yourself. I will tell you which one is okay and which one is not. Pacing smiled at the corner of his mouth and backed away from me. And what is not okay? The way you talk to me. A little bit sweeter would be nice. Don't scold me too much because I feel offended. It's like whatever I do, it never makes you satisfied. Other things are minor, so I don't really mind. Just doing this much, I'm happy. I looked up at Piecing and feared that he would be angry, but Piecing still had a normal expression. You too, Gap. Next time, if you have anything, tell me. No need to go to Tin. I beg you. Okay, I replied in short. Accept and do it too, Piecing sighed. If you break up with me, I'm going to burn Tin's house. Don't burn his house. He's just pretending to flirt with me to make you angry. What? You bastard. Singh broke his knuckles loudly. You'll have to pay for this, you bastard. To summarize, Pitin's plan was successful, but it took a long time to talk to Pising, not to fight Pitin. Pising took me to dinner at a Japanese restaurant, followed by eating snacks until full and then taking me back to his room. Tonight, Hia Singh didn't force me to do anything I didn't want to, like in the past. He always asked if this was okay. What about this? Which was also cute in another way. I would like to buy snacks as a thank you to Pitin and Dong Tol, who came up with a plan to fix his behavior since Pising was doing much better after that. Maybe accidentally insulting me or talking nonsense without realizing it, but it was followed by an apology every time. This was you called lover. This is what you call a lover, he is saying. There is no longer a master and a slave. End of special 2. The end.